Well, I hope you're looking forward to great Father's Day weekend with your dads if they're still living. I hope that you'll have time to spend with them and to let them know how much you appreciate them. As we continue to look at fathers, I wanted to talk about the father's blessing. The blessing in the Old Testament, you go back to the book of Genesis, you see where Abraham and Isaac and Jacob blessed their kids before they died. And sometimes it was a good deal before they passed away. In Genesis chapter 48, we see where Jacob and his sons were down in Egypt with Joseph and his 11 brothers. And right before Jacob dies at the age of 137 years old, Joseph brings his two sons to Jacob to have him lay his hands on them and bless them. And there in Genesis 48, you can read there around, say, verses 15 through 17, you'll see where Joseph brings Ephraim and Manasseh, Joseph's two sons, and Jacob puts his hands on each of them, and he pronounces a blessing. And he basically says, may the God who's been my shepherd, may the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, may the God whose angel has protected me and watched over me every step of the way, may he bless these boys. And he puts his hands on these kids. And dads, you definitely are a blessing, meant to be a blessing for your children. These guys in the Old Testament, before they died, they literally would place their hands on their sons or grandsons or grandkids, and then would say a prayer, sometimes they would say something. If you get on like Genesis 49, they would say some things about the person's character. And Jacob went through each of his 12 sons and he blessed them. And as he put his hands on them, and the blessing of a father is important. Sometimes we talk about when a young couple is getting ready to get married, the man that's proposing goes to the girl's father and asks for his what? His blessing. That, hey, I'm giving my approval. But kids, in a more general way, our children, they need our blessing in their lives. As we touch them, that we give them words of affirmation, that we say, I'm praying that God will bless your life, and God's going to do great things in and through your life. Our kids need to hear the verbal blessing and to see the look of love and concern. So, dads, as you approach Father's Day, maybe take time to say a blessing over your kids. Say Susie, or I'll just use one of mine, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, I love you. You're so important to me. And I pronounce blessing on you. God has blessed you with me, and God's going to do great things in and through your life. And talk to them, as you bless them, talk to them about who God is to you and how he wants to bless their lives. Dads, your kids need your blessing. They need you to speak those words of blessing over them and touch their lives. Telling them how proud you are, but pointing them, a blessing is, invoking, asking for God's hand to be upon your children. Because God loves, there's only one person that loves your kids more than you and your wife do, and that is the Lord. So kids, dads, see God's blessing, because God loves you and I love you, and I'll